Hello, I am Max and you're watching Cool Stuff in Weird Cars, and in today's video we have the Celsior behind me. I can't even see the screen of the camera at all. I apologize, it's kind of bright out today. But yeah, we have the Celsior behind me because this is the last video I will be making with this car. I'm going to go over some reasons of why, and also just a general kind of overview of my year and about 3 months with this car in this video. So let's get started. So yes, if you don't know, this is my 1993 Toyota Celsior I've had since June of last year. Got it with about 85,500 kilometers on it, 85,448 to be exact, and now it's sitting at about 96,450, and it is going to be sold. Also, I apologize if my microphone sounds a little bit different. I'm using a lavalier mic instead of my normal top of the camera mic, because the other mic was dead, apparently from sitting on my shelf for like the last 3 months. So that's cool. But in case you don't know, Toyota Celsior is basically a Lexus LS 400, but badged for the Japanese market, as well as being right-hand drive. I had an LS 400 before this, and I was like, man, I want something nice. And I was like, I want to buy something new, because I had some money to spend on a car, and I ended up getting this. So it's been a good car for the past year. I've driven it, like I said, about 11,000 kilometers, which is like 6,500 miles probably. Nothing too crazy, but more than enough to really get a feel for the car and be able to enjoy it. And I am going to be selling it for a couple of reasons. And one of them being that these cars somehow have shot up in price over the last year. Most collector cars have, but these are like going from like $7,500 for the average, or like $8,000 for the average when I bought this, to roughly $13,000 to $17,000 now. So I figured I'd take up the opportunity to do that. And also, I really just don't drive this car all too much. As I said, I've driven it like 6,500 miles or so, as we will check out here in a second. Check out the mileage. There's a lightning. That's pretty cool. Sorry, distraction. ADHD, by the way. Here's our gauges, of course. Detail 96,454 kilometers at the moment. Of course, the tachometer still does not work because it hasn't worked since I got it. And really, besides the speedometer being off by about 5 kilometers per hour, which I talked about in one of the last videos I made, there's actually been nothing else that's like gone wrong with this car since I got it. I apologize for the mess in here. It's kind of how I got it, or how I had left it before. I had to let this car sit for a few months simply because of the fact that the government wasn't getting me the title for it, so I couldn't have it re-registered. And if I drove it, I would get pulled over for not having a car going to the license plates on this. Like the license plates didn't show up in their system at all. So I had to let the car sit for like 2 or 3 months there. But now it's all good. Everything's all legal. It's factory radio. These screens up here actually work, which is nice. AC works fine. This car is basically just about perfect, besides a few scuffs. There's one on the driver's side mirror over there, and a few little scratches here and there on the outside, as well as a few holes here in the dash where somebody in Japan actually installed like hold on, this thing, some sort of Sanyo media player or some sort of thing. That's what was installed there on the dash, and there's a few holes there to prove it. But otherwise, the car is actually completely unmodified. If you can even call that a modification, since it's not even there anymore. I don't know of anything else that's actually been modified on this car. So, of course, the back seats do have the center armrest in the back with cup holders, which is fantastic. And you know what? Let's go ahead. I'll pop the camera on the windshield, and we'll go ahead on a little bit of a drive, and I'll explain more about why I'm selling this and also my experience with it. Let's go. All right, so let's get to the chase here. Why am I actually selling this car? Well, a lot of you, well, not a lot, but I know there will be the people that are like, oh man, you couldn't take driving a right-hand drive car in the U.S. Haha, it's as bad as we all say it is. You know, can't make left turns, can't go through drive-through, stuff like that. And no, that is not the reason why. Those people annoy me like crazy because I feel like they've never actually driven a right-hand drive car in their lives, and they're just wanting to say something because they want to say something. So, yes, I noticed that the prices are going up, number one. I've driven the car for, like I said, a year now, so it's not like I haven't enjoyed it, because I definitely have. I haven't really went on road trips or anything, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. I do like taking road trips, but because of me owning this thing, hey, there's lightning again. Because of me owning this thing, I didn't have the time, well, not the time, but the money specifically to actually go on road trips with it. So that kind of didn't help, because I've had full coverage on this thing, as well as all of the government stuff that I've had to do, and it's been a pain, to say the least, to specifically with the government, to get this thing actually fully legal and ready to drive on the road. And like I said, I just now got it completely ready, and it's a year and 3 months later. So that's a big point too, is the whole government thing being annoying. It's just the state government here is just they don't really know what they're doing with JDM cars, because there's none here. And well, there's a few, to say the least. There's not very many. It's not a very common thing to see a JDM car in the state of Missouri. But really, yeah, it just kind of it just ended up being kind of a paperweight. And for a car, like I said, that has gained value since I bought it, I'd rather not have it be a paperweight. And it's a Toyota. It's a Toyota sedan that uses the same parts as a Lexus here in the United States. So it's not like it's something that I wouldn't want to drive because it's special or rare or anything like that, which it is, both of those things, but it's not like the TC where I can't even find parts for it. So those are pretty much the big reasons of why I am getting rid of this thing, selling it on to somebody. I don't really know who or where. I've already kind of offered it up, and I'm actually pretty close to one of the places I went to offer it up. And if you follow me on Twitter, I have talked about selling this thing for a bit now, like a couple weeks. No, not a couple weeks, I guess a couple days, technically at this point. But I have talked about it a little bit, and also if you follow me on Twitter, there's like a little bit of a sneak peek of what may be to come for the channel, because I would like to get back into things. Which, speaking of, let's go ahead and do a little bit of an update as well in this video while we're driving the Celsior for not the last time, but the last time on video, I should say, because I'm going to drive it a little bit before I sell it, or before I get rid of it completely, and that'll be that for this car. So, let's start with the big thing. I was wanting to make a whole video about this, but it just ended up not working out. So, as a lot of you probably know, I mean, you can probably see from just looking at the dates of the uploads that I've done in the past couple of years, uploading videos and making videos has not been, I guess, the easiest thing for me to do over the past, especially the past couple of years here. I was doing a lot better like in 2015, 2016, and it's definitely went a little bit, I guess, downhill, you could call it. But there is something that I've been working on recently with myself, and finally actually taken care of for the past couple of months, but we're still trying to figure things out with it, but it's a lot better than it was. Basically, I have fairly severe ADHD, turns out, which I was not surprised to find out at all, because I had kind of suspected something for a long time. Always kind of knew I wasn't quite, I don't know if I want to say normal, but something was definitely stopping me from my full potential of just living, basically. So I actually went to the doctor. I had already researched a ton on stuff like ADHD, depression, autism even, and I pretty much narrowed it down to just to mostly being ADHD. I have no idea if I've got something else going on up there, because I probably do, but ADHD was the main one to come up. So I actually went to the doctor, got tested for it. Turns out I was right, had a lot of ADHD, still have a lot of ADHD, but now I'm on the right path of trying to actually fix, well, not fix, but make it more bearable, to say the least. Basically, it was stopping me. Well, the problem with ADHD, and my ADHD specifically, is that it would just make me super, like, hyper-fixated on things, and I would be like, oh, I'm going to go work on videos for a week straight. But then I would do that, and I would end up getting completely just out of it by the end of it, and just working myself way too hard and thinking way too hard about it, and I would just shut down basically after that. So that is the main reason why I have taken a bunch of little to big breaks in the past, and especially over the last year, because it turns out whenever you're stuck at home every day, all day, it makes it hard to actually have motivation to do things. Thanks, COVID. And thanks also not having that much money, so trying to fix problems here. And yeah, so I'm working on that. Got some sorts of medications already, working on making it better. So I think after that, or relating to that, I am going to be getting back into shooting videos as much as I can, and keeping myself at a decent pace with it instead of just doing as much as I possibly can and then completely burning myself out on it, because that doesn't work, and it's not fun. In case you don't know, it's not fun at all to just burn yourself out on the things you love doing, because I still love doing this. I still love making videos. I still love cars. I've recently, actually, just with basically trying to sell this car, I've ended up getting super into car stuff again, which I haven't felt this excited about doing car stuff and doing videos for 2 years, 3 years probably. So I'm going to take this while I can, while I'm not completely just like negative on it because of getting burnt out on it and having a bad time before. I'm going to pace myself, and we are going to actually get some stuff done. So, on with that, I've actually been talking to a specific dealership that I may or may not have been associated with at some time, or at one point, and they've got some pretty interesting stuff in stock, and I am going to be heading back and doing some more videos there, I'm pretty sure, as long as things go all right. And that was another thing that I actually teased on Twitter as well. So that is the plan for that. And yeah, and they got some, like I said, some pretty special, not necessarily, well, it ranges from stuff that's not like super weird per se, but is interesting and popular kind of, to stuff that's just straight up just, what the hell is this? As I learned whenever I walked around there, like yesterday it was. So be on the lookout for stuff like that. I'm going to be trying to refine my video style a little bit more, and yeah, that's pretty much that. Another few things, I took down the Patreon that I had set up a while ago, just because I wasn't uploading much, and I felt bad that, I mean, it wasn't like there was a ton of people interested in it, but there was at least one, so I felt kind of bad about not uploading things, so I ended up taking that down because I didn't need it, and I felt guilty about taking people's money if I wasn't actually providing content, not because of like, you know, weather reasons or whatever else. It was only because I couldn't force myself to do it with my own mind. So that might come back up at some point. I don't really know. I apologize for hiccuping and burping. I have a giant soda here, as you probably saw in the early part of the video. So we'll keep an eye on that, and maybe I'll get it back up in the future. But for now, it will be down. What else is there? Should be after I get this car sold, I should be able to take some more road trips, which would be nice. Because I miss taking road trips a lot. So I like that. I don't know. I want to do more stuff. I miss doing stuff. I miss doing car stuff. I miss doing videos. I miss going on road trips. miss going to places that are cool and like car related on road trips, and yeah, hopefully we can actually get back into that. And otherwise, the other cars, the Intrepid's at like 37,000 miles now. The Ram is dead as hell because I left the fog lights on overnight, and by overnight I mean 2 overnights. So the battery is completely dead in it, so I need to actually make sure the battery's not shot in it, because that would not be good. And the TC is just a TC. There's nothing more to say about that. And also with the money from this car, I can actually start to like work on stuff and fix the stuff on the Intrepid, and also work on some of the stuff I need to work on with the Ram as well, which will be fantastic. So I believe that will be it for this video. I think this was a decent send-off for this car. Of course, if you want to watch a very in-depth, full review of this car and also driving impressions and stuff like that, which most of those like impressions and stuff have not changed because it's still the same car and I'm still the same person. So yeah, check that out. I will try and link it in the description below. I will also probably have a little card or something maybe, or have it in the end of the video. I don't know. I need to figure out YouTube again. It's been a while. But for now, still can't speak English. That's just not working still. For now, thank you all so very much for watching this video. Thank you for all being patient as well, for all of you being patient. We're like almost to 12,000 subscribers, even though I'm not uploading anything, so I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of you sticking around so far, and hope you're excited for some new content and for me to actually do things once again. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.